All right, so where should you be at what age? So I've Izzy's wanted me to do this video for a while. I've wanted to do this video for a while, but I haven't known how to film it properly because I'm such an advocate for everyone runs a different race, and I didn't want to put something out there that people got scared of or got complacent with, thinking that'll do, like that, or that's too hard or I'm fucked. So today's video isn't specific to anyone. It isn't what you should be doing. It's simply showing you how easy the most common scenario we get can be played out with the right planning, as well as utilizing the lowest risk and the highest efficiency possible, which is what we're all about. So in this scenario, what I'm going to show you is basically by just using our foundations, all that's going to happen is you're going to achieve your worst case scenarios and your base needs. But what I'm going to show you is what that actually looks like is a lot of people's dream life. But they fuck around for years on end, thinking they can do it themselves, and they leave it too late. But if you start it really early, it's actually quite easy to do without any complex strategies or anything too difficult, as long as you're disciplined, as long as you do the right things and you do it at the right time. Okay. So the scenario today that we're going to play on is just an average single person, right? This generally most of the people we look after are couples, and this would help it. But in this case, just a general single person looking to pay off a $1 million home and be debt free by retirement or the financial independence age, which is age 50 in this case. They want to be retired and financially independent at 50 on 120K per annum for the rest of their life. They're going to earn just an average income throughout life. And they're going to use the three Kings balanced budget cash flow system ratios. It's a lot of words, just our ratios that we recommend, our 40, 20, 40 from the get-go, and build no bad habits along the way. So the categories we're going to talk about today is owning a home. We're just going to throw this average one out there. Average Sydney home's $1 million. We're going to just say $1 million. We're going to have superannuation. We're going to have investments, your average income, what your necessity expenses should look like, what your luxury expenses should look like, and how much you should be saving on that income towards savings investing, insurances and estate planning. So what age you get what kind of cover. Now, again, I need to really stress this isn't advice and this isn't saying this is what you should do. I'm just giving you an example of a very common scenario. People come to us, they want to own $1 million home, they want to retire by 50. Showing you how simple it can be. And this is not using any complex strategies. You could do a lot more in this scenario and take things a lot bigger, a lot better, or do it earlier if we use complex strategies. But I'm just showing you to basically say, if you're not doing this, and I'm not talking about manifesting, right? I'm not saying it's going to come to me, it's going to come to me. If you're not on track to do this and you're not using an advisor, you need to really reconsider what you're doing, because this is easy shit. This is what people should be able to do on their own, but this is what we guarantee within our first 3 months. We show you the pathway, the roadmap to do this stuff, do your most average worst case scenario, and then we grow from there, right? And that's what you're paying for. That's the skills that we possess, and that's what we want to pass on. On top of that, I think it's really important to understand that this is just money based, and that we don't do that kind of shit, right? We want to focus on lifestyle. Some people might want to drag life out longer because they want to enjoy it a bit more. Some people might want to bring it early because they want to do other things. Some people might not be on track for this because they're trying to hustle for a passion, for a business, and that's fine, right? This is just a nice blueprint framework that you can look at, that most people would look at and say, yeah, that's a pretty good life, I could be happy with that. And then you can tailor it and tweak it around yourself and what you're doing and push numbers out. And that's what we do, right? So when people come to us that don't fit a mold like this and it's not as simple, that's where we start adding complex strategies and tweaking things here and there to make sure it fits into what they're doing, but they're still on track to do everything they want to do at the same time. All right, so let's get into it. Okay. All right, so as you can see, and yeah, I posted on Facebook just as an example, so I'm going to use that picture because it's nice and clear. As you can see on the first line, we've got age groups 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Nice breakdown of ages, right? Now, on the left-hand column, we've got owning a home, superannuation, investments, income, necessity expenses, luxury expenses, savings, investing amount, insurance, and estate planning. We're going to go age by age, right? So first and foremost, by the time everyone, stops working, they essentially need two things: enough money to live on and a roof over their head. Hence why they're at the top for priority. So the first one being a roof over your head. Now at age 20, you realistically, I'd never talk to people about their money until 25 anyway. Have a bit of fun. But if you want to get cracking at age 20, it's a great time to do so. And all you should be doing is just saving towards the home bill. You shouldn't be investing. You shouldn't be you can, right? Let's make that very clear. You can do what the fuck you want. I'm just saying in relation to this, right? If you want to achieve what I've just said, this is the easiest way to do it. But you want to invest and play around, sure, no worries. But you want to own this home, and let's say your average income, say $600 a week at age 20, about 35 grand a year, using the 40-20-40 split, that gives you 14 grand a year for necessities, which if you live in home is probably way overs. Gives you 7K a year towards luxuries. A lot of you think that's heaps unders, but you probably have some necessities that would go towards that because your necessities shouldn't be that high. But if not, this is what living within your means means, right? Like 7K a year, that's fucking $600 a month roughly that you can spend on yourself. The rest, the next 14K, that's what you should be saving. That's living within your means, right? If you want to focus on this kind of shit. So income 35, necessity expenses 14, luxury expenses 7,000, and savings investing amount 14K per week. Now I'm not going to break it down for you. You can do some basic maths. You want to figure out what that is a month divided by 12. You want to figure out what is a fortnight divided by 26. You want to figure out what it is per week. You can divide these numbers by 52. Okay, that's on you. So what insurances? Now the most important insurance at age 20, given that you live at home, your income's probably piss poor and you're not really relying on it, it's just a bonus. TPD, total permanent disability, by far the most. Your parents will probably support you for a funeral and that kind of stuff, but TPD, I would link a TPD policy with a death policy as a minimum. But TPD is where you can never work again. So at 20 years old, if you can never work again, you're a big burden on your family. It's a big expense someone has to cover. So that's a really important one to get early. That's probably the priority from the get-go. Estate planning, you should be good to go with just nomination of beneficiaries on your superannuation if you have it by then, okay? Just making sure that money goes to the right people at that stage, probably your parents, okay? All right, so then 5 years go by, all we financially really, best case scenario done in that 5 years was save $14,000 per year, yeah? Which is $1,000 a month. That's a great amount. It's $250 a week, great amount for a 20-year-old to save. We get to 25 and we've got 17K in the bank, 75K in the bank. Fucking cracker, right? It's a great amount of money to have it at 25. You can start looking for a home there. You probably, if your employer's been putting in the 10%, you should have about 22,000 in super. And your income should be up at around that 50K mark in today's dollars. At 25, you want to be earning about 50K to stay on par, right? For stay on track for what you're trying to do. That means then your necessities go up to 20K per year, your luxuries go up to 10K per year, and your savings or investment amount goes up to 20K per year. Your insurances, by this stage, your income is a bit more sufficient and you're probably supporting yourself a little bit more. So income protection is super important to make sure that you, as your most valuable asset, because right now, if you stop earning money, your whole plan stops. So making sure that you can continue to earn money is really important. Making sure you have a policy that covers you up to retirement, age 65, is really important, and a waiting period that you can survive on as well. Given that you've got 75K in the bank, you probably don't need a waiting period any shorter than 90 days because that's your buffer as well. You can dip into that if need be. And you also need total permanent disability still. At this stage, a nomination beneficiary and potentially a will, because you might have moved out of home, you might have a bit, a few more people in your life, and you want to direct your money a little bit more cautiously, especially given you got 75,000 in the bank, plus your 22,000 in super. We're sitting at almost 100K in net worth. And then you've got a TPD policy that's potentially maybe $1 million or so, $500,000, $1 million. There's a fair bit of money that you need to guide around appropriately. So ensuring that you have a will to help your estate is good as well. So then we fast forward to age 30. All right, by age 30, if we've stayed on track, we've got $175,000 for a deposit. We've chucked that onto a home, $1 million home. We've got our mortgage, and we're starting to pay that off. Our super should be at about $70,000 just on SG, the employer contributions, not adding anything extra. Add a good investment strategy with a good return rate that's standard. And then now we're going to start investing, okay? We haven't even thought about investing outside of super or our home yet, but we're going to start now. Our income, we want to be up at around that 80K mark, which gives us 32,000 per annum in necessities, 16K per annum in luxuries, and 32K per annum in savings. Now we're a sufficient person. We might have a partner, we might have family, that kind of stuff now. And that means we need income protection, TPD, and death, right? Making sure if something happens to us, everyone around us is looked after as well. We still want a nomination and beneficiary form on our super and our insurances, and we want a will still. Okay, this stage you can start considering power of attorneys and the likes, but you get away with that. All right, so jump forward another 5 years. Now we're really into adulthood, right? We're getting a bit older now. We're 35 years old. We want our debt to be on track. We want it to be around 785,000, right? We've paid off a nice chunk of it by now. We want our super to be at about 205. We're starting to contribute a little bit extra. And we want our investment portfolio to be sitting about 120K, and we're going to up the contributions from there. Our income, still around that 80, 90K mark, gives us a necessity expenses of 36 per annum. There's you and a partner, that's 70K household, which is perfect, which is good. Luxury expenses, 18K, and then savings investment amount, 36K per annum. At this point, we've got income protection, TPD, and death still, and then we might add a trauma policy in there as well because, cancers, heart attacks, that kind of thing. This is the last real age it becomes affordable, so that's something we want. We get there. This is where estate planning is really important between that age 30 to 35. You really want to have a full kitted out estate plan. You want to make sure you've got your nomination beneficiaries, your will, your power of attorney, enduring guardians, and testamentary trust in place. And you could even start considering bonds at this stage as well. But 30 to 35, really important to get that portfolio seized up because you've got quite a large asset base now, and you need to make sure that it's distributed appropriately and tax effectively. So then we jump ahead another 5 years, and we're at 40 years old. We want to be at almost a halfway mark on our mortgage, 550,000. Our super should be up around 450K. We're increasing the contributions again. Our investments should be up around the $250,000, and then our income, we want it around 110K per annum. Now, necessity expenses go up to 44,000 a year. Our luxury now at 22,000 a year. It could be $10,000 holiday and then $12,000 on dining out, that kind of stuff. It's a good little luxury buffer. And then we've got another 44,000 to go towards saving and investments, which at this point will be investing in super, paying down the mortgage a bit faster, and investing in outside investments as well. Same insurance portfolio. If anything, it should probably start to decrease by this stage, start reducing it. And then we've got our same estate planning portfolio, but we've added bonds in there for tax effectiveness, for pre-retirement, for kids, etc., kids' education, all that stuff. Age 45, another 4 years. We're in our last 5 years of paying down the mortgage, just over $250,000, 288 roughly. Our super should be up around 850,000. Our investment should be at around $500,000. Our income up around that 120. That's really the maximum we really need to push up to. 120,000 per year. That gives us 48,000 a year in necessity expenses, 24,000 a year in luxuries, and another 48,000. Insurance portfolio the same. Again, should be decreasing. And then our estate planning portfolio is the same, with the bonds probably increasing at this point. We hit 50, our mortgage should be paid off. We're going to have $1 million in super at this stage. We're going to have 930,000 in our investment portfolio, which we're now going to start drawing on 120,000 a year to live. We don't need to work. And that still gives us 48,000 in necessity expenses, 24,000 towards luxury expenses, and 48,000 that we can pretty much pump straight back into super to pop it up even more. But we really don't need to. You could pretty much start splitting that amount up in between luxury and necessity, or just chuck it all into luxuries at this point. Insurance portfolio should be at the almost fully gone, should be really nice and low, should only have really what you definitely need in there, but it should be a luxury more than a necessity now. And then our estate planning portfolio should be nice and tight, wrapped up, ready to go, and have everyone updated on that front. Another 5 years into our retirement or financial independence, we've got no mortgage. Our super should be sitting about 1.5 mil. Our investment portfolio should be down to about 520 because we've been drawing a lot of it to live on. Still on 120K a year income. Same split up of your necessity, luxury, and investment amount. Again, that investment amount could definitely be probably not used and split back into you living your best life. By this stage, we no longer need income protection or TPD because we've got a passive portfolio to look after us in its entirety. Therefore, death and maybe trauma. But again, that's a 50-50. You might not need anything, but they're the only two you'd really need at this stage by then anyway, if the rest of your stuff's on track like that as per the above. Estate planning portfolio, the most important part here, making sure this is where it really needs to start winding up, making sure you're reviewing your power of attorneys, reviewing your wills, making sure it's always in line with what you want, because at this point, who knows when it could be game over. We hit age 60, preservation age, our superannuation hits $2 million. Our investment income is fully drawn down, but we now use our superannuation to live on tax-free for the rest of our life, generate 120K a year from there. And necessity expenses can go up to 60K, and our luxury expenses 60K per annum. We don't need to invest anymore. We're fully done. Now it's just living our best life. 60K per annum, that's $5,000 a month spending on whatever the fuck you want. 20 of that could go on holidays, and then another $2,500 a month on clothes and kids, whatever you want. It's a good amount of income in retirement. No insurances, we don't need them. We're fully self-insured, self-sufficient. Again, our estate planning good to go. And then we live our life like that until it's no more. Happy days, easy money, baby. So as you can see, it's not that difficult, right? Now, some of those numbers, you're going to get people on here going, oh, you haven't taken into account this and that. Shut up, right? Shut up. Everyone, you want to pull things out, whatever, right? This is normal. This is a completely normal chart. It's not my fault that you haven't been on top of your money since day one, and now you've got these bad habits that you're going to break, right? This is a completely normal chart. People who overs and unders, there is going to be variations, of course, but make it work. Figure it out. Go and earn more money. It's not my fault you want to live in Sydney, right? Stop playing the victim. Yeah, this is mathematically on paper and in real life. If that's your scenario, $1 million house, retired by 50, it's easy to do. That's the pattern you got to follow. Stop trying to get rich quick and invest in crypto and buy all these properties and then whinge that, oh, life's not that easy. It fucking is. You just don't listen to anyone. You think you know better, right? Truth hurts, baby. That's how easy it is. Now, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't do it like that. It's pretty boring, but it's easy. I still believe the best retirement or find some tennis strategies, find something you love doing and monetize it and do it forever. That's what I'm going to do. But if that's not you and you want to talk about money, there it is, baby. That's how easy it is. If you're not on track to do that, and like I said at the start, not this manifesting bullshit, if you're literally not on that track and you're not making it happen for yourself, stop wasting your own money. You don't know what you're doing, clearly, because I could do that with my eyes closed. I probably can't now. I probably need to go and break all your bad habits and wind things back and change it. And it's going to be hard for a while, but that's how easy it is. If you do it, if you spend money, imagine if you went and saw an advisor from day one, the day you started earning money and they showed you how to do that. Fucking easy, wouldn't it? Best money ever spent. But now you try to do it yourself, got all these bad habits, and now you don't want to spend the money because it's going to take time. Well, you're just going to keep costing yourself money. That's how easy it is. That's it, right? You want any help? You want to have a look at that? Let me know. But that's it. I've done the video. I can't make it any simpler for you guys. That's how easy it is. If you got any questions, hit me up. Love to hear your feedback. Savage King's back again, but it's true, right? That's how easy it is. It's not difficult. It's not fun. That's boring as fuck, but it's easy to do. You just got to do the right things and have the right habits and follow the right steps. Have some discipline. Stop being a victim. Simple. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace out. I'll chat with you soon. Drop a line if you want any help.